50 XRP holders. 50 different stories, but only 5 mistakes. Repeated again and again since 2017. What if the market never ruined them? What if they ruined themselves without even knowing it? Could you be making one of these mistakes right now? Let's dive in. I spent weeks going through public cases, court filings, bankruptcy proceedings, blockchain forensics threads, interviews with victims who finally agreed to talk. 50 XRP holders, different ages, different countries, different bag sizes. Some lost 5,000 XRP, others lost over 1 million. And here's what struck me. It wasn't the price that ruined them. XRP went up, XRP went down, XRP went sideways for years. None of that mattered, because the people who lost everything lost it for reasons that had nothing to do with the chart. They lost it because of 5 specific mistakes. The same 5 mistakes, showing up in 2017, in 2021, in 2022, and again in 2026. And if you hold XRP today, I want you to be honest with yourself while you watch this, because you're probably guilty of at least one of them. I know I was. The first pattern is the oldest one in crypto: custody on a centralized exchange during a bankruptcy. When FTX collapsed in November 2022, thousands of XRP holders woke up locked out. Their balance was still showing on the screen, but the coins? Gone. Frozen. Tied up in a U.S. bankruptcy court process that dragged on for years. Some of them are still waiting for partial repayment in dollars, not in XRP. Which means even when they got something back, they missed the entire 2024 and 2025 recovery. Mt. Gox holders know that feeling too well. They lost their coins in 2014. The Tokyo District Court only finalized major distributions in 2025. 11 years. 11 years staring at a number on a screen that wasn't really yours. Here's the lesson buried in 50 cases. If you don't hold the keys, you don't hold the coins. It sounds like a cliche, but every cycle, a new generation of holders learns it the hard way. And by the way, quick question for you. How many of you, watching right now, still keep more than 50% of your XRP on an exchange? Drop your number in the comments. I'm genuinely curious. The second mistake is more recent, and honestly, it's the one that scares me the most. In October 2025, a holder named Brandon LaRoque made headlines. He lost approximately 1.2 million XRP, over $3 million at the time, in a single moment. His mistake? He typed his cold wallet seed phrase into a software wallet on his phone, just to check his balance more easily. That single action transformed his cold storage into a hot wallet. Within hours, a malicious app on the same phone drained everything. And here's the brutal part. Brandon didn't click on a phishing link. He didn't fall for a Twitter scam. He just imported his seed. Out of 50 cases I studied, 9 of them follow this exact same pattern. A holder feels secure with hardware wallet. Months go by. They want convenience. They import the seed somewhere else. And the moment that seed touches an internet-connected device, it's no longer cold storage. It's a countdown. A cold wallet seed phrase typed into anything online is no longer cold. Period. Mistake number 3 is the silent killer. The phishing approve signature. You don't see your funds being stolen. You sign one transaction, thinking you're claiming an airdrop, connecting to a new dApp, or upgrading your wallet. And weeks later, your XRP, your tokens, your NFTs, all gone. In April 2026 alone, the crypto industry recorded more than 24 major incidents and over $600 million in losses. DeFi protocols have lost over $750 million to hacks and exploits in 2026, just through April. Kelp DAO's Layer 0 bridge drained of $292 million. Drift Protocol, $285 million gone through social engineering tied to North Korean groups. And behind those headline numbers, thousands of regular holders signed something they didn't understand. Chainalysis reported over $2.2 billion stolen through crypto scams in 2024 alone. Lazarus Group accounted for around 95% of those losses. Now think about that for a second. A state-sponsored team of hackers, full-time job, targeting people like us, retirees, long-term holders, people who just wanted exposure to XRP. The pattern in those 50 cases? Almost half of them signed a malicious approval without ever reading what they were signing. Always read what you sign. If you don't understand it, don't approve it. And while you're here, if this kind of structured analysis is what you came for, hit that like button and subscribe. It genuinely helps the channel reach more holders who need to hear this before it's too late. Mistake number 4 isn't technical. It's emotional, and it might be the most painful one. Panic selling at the bottom. In Q1 of 2026, the total crypto market cap fell by 20.4%. That's $622 billion erased in a few weeks. For long-term XRP holders, this kind of move is nothing new. But every time it happens, a fresh wave of holders capitulates. I read forum posts from 2018, from 2020, from 2022. The wording is almost identical. I can't take it anymore. I'll buy back lower. I just want to sleep at night. Out of 50 holders I studied, 12 of them didn't lose their coins to a hack. They lost them by selling near the bottom, watching XRP recover months later, and never having the courage or the cash to buy back in. Their wallet wasn't drained by a hacker. It was drained by their own nervous system. That's a different kind of loss. But financially, it hits the same way. And I'll be honest with you, this one is the hardest to protect against. Because no hardware wallet can save you from yourself at 3 a.m. on a red candle. The 5th mistake is the one nobody wants to talk about. 100% concentration in XRP with zero succession plan. I'm not saying don't hold XRP. This channel is built around long-term holders. I respect conviction, but conviction without structure is fragile. In the cases I studied, several holders died unexpectedly. Heart attack, car accident, sudden illness. Their families never recovered the coins. No instructions, no multisig, no legal document mentioning the wallet. Just a hardware device in a drawer that nobody could open. In one documented case, a widow spent 2 years hiring forensic specialists. She knew her husband had over 800,000 XRP. She never recovered a single token. That XRP is still sitting on chain today, visible, untouchable, forever. And it's not just death, divorce, cognitive decline, a simple stroke that wipes out the memory of a passphrase. Out of 50 cases, 7 lost everything not to a hacker, but to life itself. A real long-term plan isn't just about HODL. It's about making sure your coins survive you. Quick second question for you, and I'm asking with full respect. If something happened to you tomorrow, would your family know how to access your XRP? If the answer is no, that's worth thinking about this week. By the way, if you're approaching retirement and you're thinking about how XRP fits into your long-term plan, including taxes, succession, and protecting capital, there are a few resources in the description that go deeper into that. No pressure, just there if you need them. Here's what really bothers me. These 5 mistakes are not new. Custody risk was obvious after Mt. Gox in 2014. Seed phrase exposure was obvious after the first malware in 2017. Phishing approvals, obvious since 2020. Panic selling, as old as markets themselves. Succession failure, as old as inheritance law. So why do they keep happening? Because every cycle brings new holders, people who weren't there in 2018. people who didn't watch FTX live, people who think, it won't happen to me, I'm careful. And because the industry keeps evolving faster than education, in 2025, the Genius Act gave stablecoins a federal framework. U.S. spot Bitcoin ETFs crossed $115 billion in assets by late 2025. Institutions are moving in. But retail education? Still mostly YouTube comments and Twitter threads. That gap is where the 50 stories I studied were born. And it's where the next 50 will come from too, unless something changes. So let me leave you with something practical. Forget price predictions. Forget timing the cycle. Tonight, before you close this video, ask yourself 5 simple questions. 1. How much of my XRP is on an exchange right now, and would I survive if that exchange froze tomorrow? 2. Has my seed phrase ever touched an internet-connected device? 3. Am I confident I can read and understand every transaction I sign? 4. If XRP dropped 50% next month, would I act on a plan or on emotion? 5. If I'm not here next year, does someone I trust know exactly how to recover my coins? 5 questions. If you can't confidently answer all 5, you're not protecting a long-term position. You're hoping. And hope is the most expensive strategy in crypto. These 50 holders didn't lose everything because XRP failed them. They lost everything because the system around their XRP was never built. The good news? You're watching this before it happens to you. That's the only real edge any of us ever get.